Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Dave from MyGunValues.com. Right off the bat, I want to issue an apology for the audio. We had some microphone problems and we have new microphones on order, but they're not here yet. Had to get some videos shot, so we're going to be using the camera audio for 2 or 3 videos here, and then we'll get the we ordered a new better microphone, so hopefully we won't have this problem. Don't know what order they'll be posted in, but I did shoot a video for the 38 Smith & Wesson 38 Special cartridge. I mentioned that I had attended an auction, and one of the rules of auctions, if you go to an auction well publicized, it's got tons of guns, tons of ammunition, and you live in any kind of a population center, everybody on the planet is going to show up, and you're probably not going to get any good deals. I mean, if you have something you really need, you can't find it, although the shortages are becoming a little more bearable, then by all means, go pay full price for it. But I'm the one, as much ammo and stuff as I burn through and I need for photography, I don't like to pay full price if I can avoid it. So last night was one of those nights where they had a whole bunch of kind of eclectic, weird, oddball stuff that, a lot of guys aren't going to have, a lot of guys aren't going to shoot. But when you're historically minded like I am, and like the other business partners that I have are, then you kind of, what's the word I want to say? The oddball stuff really comes in handy for photography, for videos, and things like that. And you never know when a rifle's going to come along. You might want to shoot a couple rounds through, things of that nature. So there was a whole pile of oddball old ammunition, primered cases, brass, and it was in about 6 or 7 lots last night. And I think if I add all this up, I think I paid about $110 for everything, including the ammo crate that it came in. I like ammo crates. They make great storage. Yeah, it's either $110 or $120, and in the first few bags here, and boxes, I'm gonna be well over the value that I paid for it. So, first thing, and this is, even if you don't have a use for it, bullet molds. There is somebody out there that wants that bullet mold. Especially these old iron molds, if they're not all rusty. A lot of guys want these. This one is, the ball measures .340 in diameter. So I would imagine you'd use this for either, there are some old 34 caliber round ball weapons out there. I believe this is close to the size of double-aught buckshot, give or take. So you could use it for either one of those, or you could probably use it as a paper patched ball for a 36 cal. So we had that bullet mold in there. We had this bullet mold in there. Open it up here. And that is a 58 caliber round ball. I haven't actually weighed it, but that's what it is. It measures 58 cal. You see all the moisture corrosion on the lead here. This ball has probably been cast in this mold for decades, but you see there's no rust in the actual mold surfaces. That's one thing you always want to do when you put a mold away, is cast a bullet and leave it in there on an iron mold. That way it doesn't corrode. So we had that mold right there. And this was the coup de grace. This is one, although they're not hard to come by if you really want one. This pin, when I first saw it, before I opened it up, I'm thinking hollow point of some variety. Turns out I was a little bit off on that. So you take out the pin, you open it up, and you have a 58 caliber. You know, a lot of guys say mini, including me. It's a Minié. Technically, it's French ball. This is a Civil War bullet, and the pin doesn't form a hollow point. It forms a hollow base. And that's what they would do with these, is they put these down the muzzle, and then when the black powder ignited behind it would swell this skirt up and grip the sides of the bore, and it made it a more accurate round. So a 58 caliber Minié ball mold, again, not hard to come by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, you can find them, but when you're buying stuff in a box lot, it was pretty good deal. And I think, I've been debating what to call these series as we bring this stuff in, and it will, you know, and I'd be happy to hear any thoughts you guys have on what to call these series. And then there was a ton of this ammunition. It was bagged up by rounds, and again, for photography purposes more than anything, it's nice to have a lot of different rounds. So we have a Remington UMC head stamp brass here, 45 ACP, just one of those. There was 2 boxes. These are both full of primed Winchester 4570 brass. Never been reloaded, never been fired. So I got 4570 cases here. Let's see what else we had. Now this was something I really was happy to see. I'm going to go ahead and dump these out. I haven't actually counted them yet. There's 29 of them. If somebody out there is interested, I would consider selling a few of these. I would probably want to keep one box of 20, but that would give me 9 to sell. If you don't recognize this, we'll get this in the close-up camera. These are 25-20 Stevens single-shot cartridges. Stevens had a 25-20 rifle, and people who see that 25-20 automatically go to the Winchester 25 WCF 25-20, and they don't know that there was this 25-20 Stevens single shot round. It's much longer than the 25-20 for Winchester. I've never owned a round of this, so I was really happy to get this bag of stuff. So if you're somebody out there, one of our viewers, who has one of these, like I said, I wouldn't be averse to parting with a few rounds of it, but I want to keep at least 20 of them. So if you're interested, contact me and we'll work something out. So then we have a bunch of 8mm Mauser here. Some of it's bagged, some of it's on stripper clips. There's a ton of it in here. Some is in various reloads, various points. Germany, for their part, had a ton of different military loads for their 8mm. I'm going to just transfer. This is just Remington 30-06. I mean, that's really common stuff. I mean, not all of it was oddball stuff, but there was some strange stuff in there. This is all 8mm. There's a bunch more in here as we get to it. I'll just set it aside. I haven't sorted through it to see what's what. I've got one here labeled 8mm tracer. So, you know, they're just a various bunch of 8mm here. Let's see. We have some brass. And the brass I'm not too overly enthused about. I mean, I got some. These appear to me to be Remington Corlock 4570 bullets. They're just a 10 count, but you never know. We have some unknown 22 rimfires here. We have a bag of 222 Remington. Don't own one of those anymore, but you never know. This is a bag of what looks like maybe 32 Smith & Wesson or 32 S&W Auto. It's not labeled, and I don't have my glasses on, so I'm not even going to try. Some 44 mag brass. What do we got here? Here's a 32 Smith & Wesson. I'll spend a minute on this. 32 Smith & Wesson. If for those of you who've seen the 38 Smith & Wesson video, they did everything in 32 also. And then they decided that the 32 Smith & Wesson wasn't powerful enough, so they came out with the 32 Smith & Wesson Long. Then they came out with the 32 H&R Magnum in 1984, which each time you went up, they just lengthened the case a little bit more, put in more powder, made the guns to handle higher pressures. And then the last iteration was the 38 or the 32 Federal Mag, where they lengthened the cartridge case even more, raised the pressure even more. But the 32, this 32 Smith & Wesson, if I was so inclined, would fire in a gun chambered in .327 Federal. And, you know, it's one round and I wouldn't shoot it, but you could chamber it and fire it if you had to. You can't go the other way, of course. Excuse me. Let's see. What do we got here? We got a few .357 Magnum brass. We got some 45 Colt, look like original factory loadings. When I say 45 Colt, for those of you, I am saying 45 long Colt. There was a 45 short Colt, but you almost never see them. Here's some 44 mag. They look to be factory loads. We got a bunch of 38 special brass here. Here's some 38 Smith & Wesson. In fact, that round I shot the video with is out of this bag, so I'm going to leave this sitting here till I find that round because I put it in the box. Have some, what are these? 20 gauge shotgun shells and some 44 shot shells that you'd use for maybe birds or snakes. Some .357 mag brass. Now here's an oddball round you don't often see anymore. It's been supplanted by the 38 Super. This is the old 38 ACP. This was made for some of the older 1911 Colts and some other guns, not commonly seen. This and the 38 Super are very similar, other than the 38 Super is just a more powerful round. So again, don't mix and match those. You won't have good results. But that's a bag of 38 ACPs. Happy to get those for video purposes. We got a few Winchester 45 ACPs there. We got some Winchester .357 mag. Some 22 shot shells. Again, these will come in handy for photography and shooting snakes. Some more 38 specials. 44 Magnum brass. Now we're getting into some more of the good stuff. Here we have some true 2520. They look to be shot shells to me. That or they've got full wad cutter bullets seated in them. Little wooden box that's not marked in any way. About 20, what's it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 15 or 20 rounds in there. We got some factory primed 38 special Western brass. This is a box of, I believe they're Stevens 22 long rifles in the original box. We have, these look to be 32 S&Ws also, the short version. We got a box of primed, I believe these are primed. Yeah, box of primed 2520 brass. I have a friend that has been begging me to find him some 2520, so he'll probably end up with that. Some more 38 Smith & Wesson. Some more 38 Special. There's some more oddballs in here I want to show you. 38 Special. 22s. Here's some wad cutter 38 Smith & Wesson longs. 38 long Colt probably would be my guess. I'd have to do some measuring. This labeling doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense. We have some 44 Magnum shot shells in here. Now this box unfortunately is missing, I believe, 2 rounds, which really bummed me out. Yeah, it's missing 2. This is a box of original U.S. Cartridge Company 25-35 for the Model 94 Winchester, and of course it was chambered in a few other guns. So those are always nice to get. Let's see here. Some different 22s, some 38 Special, some 22. Now these are 22 longs, not long rifles here, although you can shoot them in most anything but a semi-automatic. Can't read the label on what that is. Here's some 22 Magnums, 22 Winchester Magnums, some more 45s, 22 long rifles. Here's some 22 blanks. There's only 2 of them. I do have some more of these. Thing with blanks is they do tend to make a gun really dirty. Not much. That's some more 45s. Here's some 4070 brass. The 4070, I'm going to blow this. It was either chambered in the 1886 or the 1876, and I would have to look. It was only chambered in one Winchester lever action model. But again, photography purposes, those are nice things to have. Got some more 22 shorts here. Some more 32 long S&Ws. Some 8mm stripper clips. Here's that 38 Smith & Wesson round that goes in that bag. We got some 38 Special hollow points. Nice bag of 3240 or 32 WCF brass. Some corrosion on some of them. We'll have to see if they'll clean up. Some more 8mm. Some more 38 Smith & Wesson rounds here. Various manufacturers. These are 30 carbine. As I've discussed in our 30 carbine video, these are kind of tough to reload if they've been fired in a semi-auto chamber. They're tough to reliably chamber, so those, I don't know if I'll use those for anything. 38 Specials. Here's some 38 WCF, 3840. Just 2 rounds. Old copper primers, so these are probably old original rounds. Some 44 Magnum. A 38 Special shot shell round. Some more 38 Smith & Wesson. Some 45 ACP. 38 Specials. Some 222 brass. You saw there was some 222 earlier. And a military 45 ACP round, which I probably won't use for anything. But when you're buying box lots, that's what you get. So again, I bought these lots mainly because I needed some of this stuff for photography. The 2520 Stevens single shot was really probably the thing I wanted the most out of this, that and the molds. But for what I paid for it, I was happy with what I got. Again, most of this is going to be photography. Probably won't use a lot of it for shooting purposes, but if you're in the need of some 38 Smith & Wesson, I could probably be talked into getting rid of some of that. You know, there's probably, if you count all the different bags of it up here, there's probably a box or 2 of it. So, but that's just the auction take or the stuff for the shop or whatever. And this is the first video I've shot, you know, where it's kind of a, odds and ends type stuff. I won't probably use that term, but just the photography and the generic stuff that I bring in here to use for photography for you folks to see. For now, I want to thank you for watching. If you have anything you'd like us to do videos on or subjects, you can either contact us through the mygunvalues.com website, or you can send us a note here through YouTube. Thank you for watching.